Yo, what's happening, people? And welcome back to Gav Goes In. Big up yourselves, guys, for coming through yesterday. Big up to yourselves each and every time. And as always, make sure we smash the like button and make sure we sub to the channel as well. You know what? I wasn't even gonna do a stream. Obviously, I'm gonna be back, guys, at 5:30 with myself, Fitz, and with Jonas as well. So yeah, make sure you guys come through and support the channel at 5:30. And yeah, as always, man, make sure you guys give us your questions and comments and interact with the channel. Obviously, it's our regular stream every Monday, 5:30. So yeah, make sure you guys come through. But as I said, I wasn't gonna go live, but you know what? Yeah, I've seen some news and I'm thinking, you know what? This cannot be a possibility for me for Manchester United. You know, I've touched on it before, and part of me was thinking this ain't gonna happen. But the more that I'm seeing news about Conor Gallagher, big up to Babs One Diva as well for coming through. Big up. But the fact that I'm seeing news about Conor Gallagher and Manchester United, you know what? It's concerning, man. It's very concerning because I'm having to think to myself, is this just rumors? Is it paper talk? Or are Manchester United seriously considering Conor Gallagher? Like, yeah, it's ridiculous, man. And obviously, Atletico Madrid, you know, they've set their price at 25 million. Big up to Foxy Danny as well. Yeah, they've set their price at 25 million, but we're hearing that United are looking more at a loan deal rather than a permanent. Now, for me, yeah, I was actually looking at the list of midfielders that might be that might be available in January, or even well, next season will be end of the season will be different. So I'm looking at midfielders that will be available in January. And to be honest with you, yeah, it kind of tells you where it kind of tells you really where the dearth of midfielders is at, really, because I could pick probably one player that might be available on a loan deal other than well, we're hearing Conor Gallagher is available on a loan deal, but I think it's one of them things where it's Man United want a loan deal, but Atletico want a permanent. Yeah. Now I've picked out probably one player other than Conor Gallagher that might be gettable for Manchester United, and that is Calvin Phillips. And again, it kind of shows you that how poor the selection of midfielders that is out there. And again, you look at the fact that in the summer, you know, you got the likes of Baleba, you got the likes of Walton, Elliot Anderson, you know, Angelo Stiller, and there's probably a few more midfielders that might come into question in the summer. Yeah. So for me, I mean, people are saying that Man United need to get reinforcements in midfield. He's got a midfielder in Kobe Manu that he's not even using. So I don't personally think here that we should be giving Ruben Amorim any sort of opportunity when he's got midfielder in Kobe Manu that he's not using properly. Yeah. And again, not to mention, he's the one that chose to keep Bruno Fernandes rather than sell Bruno Fernandes, and then could have got a couple of midfielders in January, you know, in the start of the summer, sorry. So again, the fact that there's only Calvin Phillips really that is a possibility of Manchester United getting on a loan deal, and even that, again, he's still at Man City, and Man City probably not going to want to sell to a rival. It just shows you that Man United would be best off just saving their money and then just wait into the summer, because I'm looking at the options in midfield now, and again, it's not great, but this is on the manager, and the manager was the one that chose to keep Bruno Fernandes rather than let Bruno Fernandes go and then get reinforcements in that area. So Man United could have had two midfielders right now, along with Kobe Minu, along with Ugarte, if you say he's a player, you know, and Casemiro. So Man United could have potentially had five midfielders, central midfielders, with the sale of Bruno Fernandes. And this is what I'm trying to say to you. Ruben Amorim doesn't deserve a midfielder for me, because he kind of made his bed in the summer by advocating for Bruno Fernandes to stay. And now all of a sudden, we're being linked with Conor Gallagher. And guys, this is a deal that cannot happen for me. Like I'd be so pissed off, man, with this club, yeah, if this deal was to happen. And as I said, I wasn't even gonna go live, but the fact that I'm seeing that it's a 25 million bid being set by Atletico Madrid, and Man United want to do a loan deal. I just hope that Atletico Madrid stick to their guns and want money from United, and United just go off this deal, man, because this cannot be a possibility for me that Manchester United go and get Conor Gallagher. And it's going to be the same mistake we're going to make with the Manuel Ugarte, because if I'm looking at Ineos's signings, Manuel Ugarte is the only blunder for me on their resume in terms of players that they've signed. So again, this is going to be another Manuel Ugarte signing that cannot happen for me, And as I said, man, the very fact that Conor Gallagher's being mentioned with Manchester United, and people are actually endorsing a signing like this is ridiculous, really, man. I mean, I don't care if it's a loan deal, a permanent. This is a signing that cannot happen for many reasons, We cannot have a midfield of Bruno Fernandes, Conor Gallagher, Mason Mount in there, Ugarte. Like, this is meant to be Manchester United, Like, this is meant to be Manchester United, not Stevenage. You know what I mean? We cannot have a midfield of that. And then you got the likes of Kobe Minu that can't even get game time in there. Ridiculous. Big up to Fitz. Big up my guy each and every time. Big up to Jude as well. Big up Christopher McGrath for coming through. I can think of a couple of decent options, but those two current targets are showing how far we've fallen as a club. And again, this is what I'm concerned about, because the very fact that we're seeing fans out there thinking that this Conor Gallagher deal should be acceptable, it just shows you that the standards are in the bin, man. Because not even a loan deal for me, you should be targeting Conor Gallagher. Not even a loan deal. I'd much rather, Man United go and get someone from the youth and nurture them. I mean, you got someone like Sekou Kone, Why has Sekou Kone not even got a minute of football to see what he's about? So you'd rather go and spend money or pursue a loan deal for Conor Gallagher than giving an academy product, someone that was bought into the academy, give him some game time to see if he's good enough. And then you rather go and spend money on Conor Gallagher, who's what, 20, 25, 26? For what reason? Because you're saying Man United need experience. Man United have got experience in Casemiro. De Ligt's an experienced player. Harry Maguire's an experienced player. Luke Shaw's an experienced player. Mazraoui's an experienced player. Cunha and Mbeumo are in their mid-20s. So Man United have got experience in the squad. They have, Bruno Fernandes obviously is experienced. So this Conor Gallagher deal was ridiculous, man. And it does show how far we've fallen as a club. And the very fact that we can't even really name midfielders that will be available on loan in January just tells me don't go and waste time in January for me. Don't waste time on getting a Conor Gallagher when you can save that money, whether it's on wages, whether it's on if you do actually go and pay money. I don't think that should happen, man. Not for me, And it does show how much we've fallen as a club. 100%. Garner and Gallagher in the midfield looks really robust. Amorim, 10 more years. Yeah, listen, man. Listen, I'm here for the banter, man. I'm here for the banter. And again, I'd much rather Man United go and get James Garner than go and get Conor Gallagher. I'd much rather James Garner comes back to the club rather than Conor Gallagher. And again, James Garner shouldn't be coming back to Manchester United for me, if we're being serious. So this is the problem. This is the problem. The fact that Amarim wants Conor Gallagher as well is telling me that this is a deal that we should stay far away from. No doubt. You know. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. If you were a football manager, which formation would you play? 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. So it's the system that Manchester United should be playing rather than this 3-4-2-1 nonsense. You play the 4-2-3-1, you'd allow, your most technical players or your best players to get in position. The likes of, I like to see Ahmad in the 10. If anyone saw Ahmad's goal yesterday, that should tell you why Ahmad is not no wing back. So again, it's just frustrating to watch my team, Manchester United, playing a player that talented at wing back. So I'd love to see Ahmad in the 10. And you know what's actually funny, yeah? I started playing FIFA a couple of days ago. And the exact team I've got, yeah, in the 4-2-3-1 is the team that I would like to see Manchester United play. Xerxes as the 9, Mbuemo and Cunha either side, Ahmad in the 10, and in the midfield of Kobe Manu and Baleba. And I've just signed Adam Walton as well. And then I've got Jed Spence at right back. I've got rid of Dallo. So Jed Spence and Mazraoui, my 2 right backs. I've got Dorgu and Malacia as my 2 left backs. Delict's my captain. I've got him and Yoro. And I just managed to do a deal for Murillo from Nottingham Forest, because I wanted the left-footed centre-back. And then Aiden Heavens, the backup there. Sesko, obviously, with Xerxes as the strikers. So, yeah. The 4-2-3-1, man, or the 4-3-3. But this 3-4-2-1 formation, cannot go on any longer for me, man. And it's ridiculous. Gav, it's why we got to be getting Ruben Neves instead, regardless. Yeah, Ruben Neves is another one. The reason why I didn't mention Ruben Neves, yeah, and again, I know Neves is another one that's been spoken about, but the reason I don't want Ruben Neves is because I cannot deal with any Portuguese players coming to this club, because the fact that we got a Portuguese manager, we got his Portuguese captain and his Portuguese nephew, is too much for me, really. So yeah, that's why I didn't mention Ruben Neves. The only Portuguese player I want at my club, which ain't gonna happen, is Nuno Mendes or Vitinha. But they're 2 players that you're not gonna get. So yeah, I don't want to see no more Portuguese players coming until this manager goes, because this trio of Amarim, Bruno, and Dallo is ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I don't want to see that. Guys, make sure we're smashing the likes. We've got 12 of you watching. We've got 6 likes. Smash the like button, sub to the channel, share the channel. And let me know, guys, your views on Conor Gallagher, if this is a deal that Manchester United should be pursuing. Because for me, it's ridiculous, man. And I'm not going to change my mind. This is a player that we cannot get, man. Cannot be getting a player like that. Yeah, listen, I trust in Vivell as well. But the very fact that we're being linked with Conor Gallagher, and again, I've heard that, there's been talk about, there's been talk that Man United have been in talks with him. Like, that's concerning for me. That is massively concerning. So I just don't want to see any more news about this Conor Gallagher, because I'll tell you now, man, if Man United get Conor Gallagher, like I'd have to say, yeah, and I have to be true to myself, I'd be hammering out every single week, because I cannot, like, I'm struggling watching Man United right now, yeah, because the football's shit, we're scamming results, and it's not going to get better. People can fool themselves, yeah, and start saying that things are improving, which it ain't. Man United play well for what, 30 minutes at most, and even that, it's not even plain sailing. But if Man United was to get Conor Gallagher, yeah, and then we've got to watch this manager play Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Conor Gallagher, Dallo, Mount, Ugarte, yeah, that will just be it for me, man. That will be it for me. And as I said, this is a deal that can't happen. And Vivell, I do trust in him because some of the players we've been linked with have been, they have been promising, but this is a deal that cannot happen. So I'm confident that we don't do this deal because it will send the wrong signal out for me. And as I said, man, you cannot have a midfield of them players. There's no quality there. There's no one that can, that can dictate the tempo of a game. And the fact that Kobe's not even being used properly by this manager, yeah, that can't happen, man. Xerxes has been bad as well. I disagree. And the reason I disagree with that Xerxes has been bad is because if you're going off the last game that Xerxes played, you have to look. You have to put context into it. Yeah, Joshua Xerxes was coming onto a pitch where Man United were under pressure. So the reason Amorim brought Xerxes on is so the team could play long balls into Xerxes and he could try and hold it. Now, bearing in mind he's up against Malik Thiaw and Fabian Schär, not to mention, Joel Linton actually came on, who's an aerial threat. And then you got Bruno Guimaraes, and I think it might have been Tonali at the time, that's sometimes occupy the centre of the pitch and protect the back four in that sense, yeah? So again, the fact that this manager went to 6 at the back and just left Cunha and Xerxes just up there on their own, I don't know really what people were expecting of Xerxes. Xerxes is a player that needs players around him, and he was left isolated when he came on. And again, people were going to get onto Xerxes, which is what I've said previously. Xerxes is one of them players you either rate him or you don't. The people that don't rate Xerxes, again, everyone's free to their opinion, but I'd have to question, their kind of logic on football. Because if you don't rate Xerxes, it means you don't really rate football. Because Xerxes really and truly, what do you expect him to do? The guy's had what? He had what? 2 90-minute games this season in 18 games. He's had a second half where Man United were under pressure for the whole second half, and there wasn't much he could do. But again, Xerxes is just one of them players in a long list of talented players that come to Manchester United, and this club just ruins them because this club and the fans are allergic to good players. They champion hard workers, and I tell you this for free: if you've got a team full of hard workers, you ain't winning anything. That's a fact. You know what I mean? And the very fact that people don't rate Xerxes just tells me that they don't really rate football. Because you can't look at Joshua Xerxes as a player and think he's not a good player. Because I guarantee you this now, if he was playing for any other team in the league, one of the top teams in the league, and they used him in the right way, this conversation wouldn't be spoken about. So again, people have their opinions, but again, man, it's just, for me, it's a lack of understanding from a lot of people that don't really understand the kind of player that Xerxes is, As I said, if you think Xerxes is going to score 30 goals, that's not going to happen. But he makes players around him better, You guys should get Boubacar Kamara. Well, that's not going to happen. He's playing for Aston Villa that are going for a title right now. And again, Kamara, if anyone wants to get Kamara now, I think the starting bid would be like 60 mil. That'd be the starting price for me, for Boubacar Kamara. But again, he's missing against Arsenal tomorrow, which is going to be a massive miss. And yeah, man, I don't know how Aston Villa are going to set up. They might play Lamar Bogard in there, but he'll be a massive miss for them, man. But I think Emery's going to set them up in a way to make them hard to beat. So yeah, I think they'll be all right, man. The Premier League is looking very interesting right now. Liverpool are getting closer to being first. I have faith they can do it. Well, they're a long way. They're 10 points off of top, so they're still a long way. They're still a long way off of first for me. But they're playing Leeds at home. I think, is it tomorrow they're playing Leeds? Or it might be Thursday, I can't remember. And it won't be an easy game because Leeds have been in decent form. But I think if they win tomorrow, that's another 3 points ticked off. And again, you got to look at the fact that Villa and Arsenal playing each other. If one of them teams loses, then that's Liverpool. Imagine if Arsenal get beat by Villa and Liverpool beat Leeds. It's now down to 6 points or 7 points. So Just shows you, innit? And obviously, Liverpool still got to play Arsenal. And then Arsenal got to play United. They got to play City again. So again, this league table, yeah, this league title is a long way from being concluded. You know, do I believe Liverpool win it? No, I don't. I think Man City, for me, are still definitely the favourites. But what I will say, man, is keep an eye on this league table and don't look at Liverpool as being 10 points behind Arsenal, because it can all change. And as I said, in January, I believe Arsenal have something like 8 games in January or something like that. And that's going to take its toll. So, you know what I mean? Liverpool, if they just keep putting wins together, before you know it, man, they're on Arsenal's coattails, because again, Arsenal got Villa, and if Liverpool beat Leeds, and as I said, Villa, or even if Villa or Arsenal draw or one of them loses, they've gained points back there. So yeah, it's one of them things. Sekou Kone has been injured for the last last 6 months. I didn't even know that. Has he? I didn't even know that. But again, he should have been. He's someone for me that should have been given more game time, for real. You know, Basuma's on a free in 6 months, maybe. You know what? Again, if Basuma's on a free, I'll take Basuma ahead of Conor Gallagher. Of course. Of course. And again, Basuma's not even been playing for Tottenham. I think he's been out injured as well. And again, you think that Tottenham are missing Basuma, Maddison, and Kulusevski. You know, I think that's 3 players that will make a massive difference to their team right now. You know, but look, if he's available on a free in 6 months, you know, I'll take him ahead of Conor Gallagher. But again, you know what I mean? It's one of them things where just save your money, man. Don't go and get a Gallagher because you feel you need bodies. I'm not of that opinion, because you've got someone, as I said, in Kobe Mino that's not even being used. You know, so. Nowadays, I play Goulet on the right, Cherky at Cam, and Verts. that sound like a fantasy team there, man. But I see the thinking, you know, I see the thinking. Obviously, inverted. Arda Goulet left-footed on the right, you know, Verts on the right foot on the left, and Cherky in the middle. That's definitely fantasy, though. But I hear it. I hear it. I was a United fan from 1996. Dad took me to Old Trafford for my 4th birthday and decided last year to cut ties with the club and follow a local non-league team. It's much more enjoyable. You know what? You know what, my guy? You know what? I hear it, yeah, because I can't even blame I can't even blame fans, yeah, if they decide to support someone else, because this Man United club has been a joke, man, for a while. And the one thing I would say, yeah, is for me personally, it's never about cutting ties with a club that you support, because you know you're meant to support your club through thick and thin. Yeah. But what I would say, the very fact that sorry guys, got someone post something through my door, man. I don't know what these people don't understand about no junk mail. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. But what I would say, yeah, you meant to support your club through. Oh, Semenyo, one sec. Okay, so Semenyo's finalising his deal to go City. Boy, City not playing about, man. But yeah, as I said, I think the fact that you know you have decided to walk away and cut ties from the club just shows you how bad we are. And standards for me should always be, you know, it should always be adhered to. But the standards at this club they've gone massively down, man. And yeah, I understand it, man. The football's shit. The manager's poor. You know, some people think that a lot of the players ain't good enough. I think we have got decent. I think we have got good players. I'm not gonna say we haven't, but I can hear it, man. If you don't want to support the club no more, like, it is painful watching this club. But what I would say, man, I think just sticking with your club is has to be done, man, because I have to believe that Man United will get better, you know. But for me, I'm not going to change my mind because I know people want to get onto the Glazers. They want to get onto Ineos. The reality is you're not going to do nothing about getting the Glazers or Ineos out. So the only thing we can focus on is the manager. And the facts are, regardless of Ineos or the Glazers, yeah, this manager's not the level. It's as simple as that. So I wouldn't even mind if Amarim was doing a good job. But I'd argue this with anyone that he's not doing a good job. He's not. And as I said, I've been through every single game this season. Man United, for me, have won one or two games where I could hold my hands up and say, you know what, fair enough, we won that. That's not on Ineos, that's not on the Glazers, that's on Ruben Amorim. Simple as. But to sell players like Minu to compensate for a manager missing out on a Champions League spot isn't what top teams should be doing. 100% Fitz, 100%. 100%. It's like for me, he's being rewarded. Like, you know what I mean? The very fact that he made it after not winning Europa just showed you that our standards were never at a serious level in the first place. So yeah, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. United had a chance to sign Camara on a free from Marseille, but as usual, we didn't. Yeah, listen, we've had a chance to sign many players, but again, you have to question the scouting, man, because why is it the likes of these other clubs can identify players for cheap? And again, Boubacar Kamara was actually a centre-back at Marseille. He's a centre-back come DM. Obviously, he's more adept at playing as a DM now. But yeah, man, it's one of them things where we just don't sign we just don't identify these players from young. To think that Moises Caicedo, yeah, was available for pittance, really. And the player that Caicedo is now, again, it's difficult to say that Caicedo would have developed into the player that he is now at Manchester United. But the very fact he was available and the club decided not to go and sign him just shows you that there's something wrong there. Whether the scouts identified him but the management didn't want him, I don't know. But the fact that he's, arguably one of the best midfielders in the world just shows you, man, that we keep missing out on top players. You know what I mean? Madness. Right, guys, it's only going to be a short one today because we're going to be back at 5:30 anyway. So back at 5:30 with myself, Fitz, and Jonas. So, yeah, make sure you guys come and come through at 5:30 and support the channel as well. Thoughts on Baleba and Anderson? Yeah, two very good players. As I said, Baleba for me needs to be signed. He should be the main midfield target. The fact that he's left-footed and will add balance to the midfield is a must for me. What I would say, watching him yesterday in the AFCON, yeah, there's a lot of fans now that are turning their back on Baleba, saying, he's down tools or he's not good enough. Yeah. Now, for me, I got no doubts about Baleba because I've wanted Baleba at Manchester United for a couple of years now. I could just see something in him that just let me know that he's going to be playing for one of the top teams. And what I would say to all these fans that don't want Baleba because hasn't had a great season so far at Brighton, I'll tell you this for free, yeah? If Man United don't snap him up, he's going to go to whether it's a Chelsea, a Man City, I'll throw in there as well, a Liverpool. Imagine him at Aston Villa. The way Aston Villa are going, imagine him at Aston Villa. By a minute, we're looking at him. He'll be at a top team if Man United don't sign him. So all these fans that don't want to get Baleba, I guarantee you this: if Man United don't get him, he'll be playing for a top team. I guarantee you. Elliot Anderson, I like Anderson. I do like him. Baleba's my first choice though, but I do think Anderson's good. Where do I see Anderson ending up though? I don't think it's Man United, if I'm honest. I think Anderson, you know what it is? I can see Anderson ending up at Liverpool. I can see him at Liverpool. Yeah, I can see him at Liverpool for me. You know, Liverpool. I know there was talk about Man City. But yeah, I can see him. I can see him at Liverpool. But again, I think Aston Villa is a team that people need to be looking at as well, because if Aston Villa can maintain, yeah, what they're doing, Villa need to be in the market. Whether they've got money or not, I don't know. But I mean, I think someone in the chat said they haven't got any money, but they need to be in the market for one of these players as well, because that could take them up, you know. So let's see what they do. I'll take Anderson or Rodgers to Liverpool. Yeah, I hear it, but you're not gonna get Rodgers ain't gonna go there because he just signed new contracts, and you guys ain't gonna spend 100 million on another player for me. Yeah, I can see Anderson at Liverpool. I can definitely see him at Liverpool. But again, you would have to think though that someone might leave if Anderson comes in. I'm trying to think. If Anderson comes, he's going to come to start, and you got Gravenberch there, Szoboszlai, McAllister, maybe Curtis Jones, maybe Endo. I don't know, but I definitely do think, man, he's someone that will be definitely on the move. But I think he might be at Liverpool. Yeah. But guys, listen up. Make sure you smash the like button. Obviously, it's only meant to be a quick one. I had to react to this news. 25 million bid set by Atletico Madrid for Conor Gallagher. And for me, man, this deal cannot happen. And the fact that we're hearing that, you know, Atletico only want money for him and United won't do a loan deal, at least that way, it kind of puts United at arm's length with Atletico, because this is a deal that cannot happen for me. It cannot happen for many reasons. And, you know, as I said, the fact that he's not using what he's got properly, yeah, 25 million is cheap. But again, it's not a deal that we should be pursuing. Man United need to be pursuing quality. I don't want to see runners in this team too often, because it's not the way to go for me. So, yeah, it is cheap. But we can't be having the likes of Conor Gallagher at this club when you've got the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount in the midfield. Can't happen. So, yeah, this deal cannot happen. Cannot happen. And hopefully Ineos, hopefully Vivel, hopefully these guys see sense. Casemiro's not going anywhere in this window either. He's going to go at the end of the season. And again, why would he go in this window when he'll be available on a free? And if he does go to Saudi, he gets all the money. So it won't make sense, man, that he goes in January. And again, Man United won't let him go in January anyway. So yeah, it's an end of the season thing that's gonna happen for him. So, but guys, listen up. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Make sure you're subbing to the channel. Make sure you share the channel as well. And as I said, we're gonna be back at 5:30 with myself, Fitz, and with Jonas. Obviously, Jonas is a Liverpool fan. So again, he's going to be in even better spirits today. And obviously his team, you know, they're on a roll now, 3 wins in 3. So yeah, we're going to get his opinion on how they done against Wolves, bottom of the league, Wolves on 2 points. So yeah, we're going to see what he says about that. And obviously Fitz obviously is going to come through as well. So yeah, guys, make sure you come through at 5:30. And again, we're going to continue the discussion, Liverpool, Manchester United, and obviously all the weekend football as well. And then, again, big games coming up tomorrow and on Thursday. So, yeah, make sure you guys come through. Big up to all the newcomers. Big up to all the mods as well. And as I said, guys, make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Make sure you sub to the channel. Make sure you share the channel. And, yeah, I'll catch you guys at 5:30. Take it easy.